Hi, it's Glenn again. Welcome to the cafeteria, or as we call it here, the CAF. This place will feed anywhere between 1,500 to 2,500 people every single day. So I'm going to show you around, and I'll show you some of the different jobs that you might be asked to do. So if you come through here, you'll see these two stations here in the back. Which you'll be responsible for taking care of. Now, up here is the main area, which is called the floor. You'll also be responsible for that. So let me show you around the floor a little bit. So, this is what's called the floor. You'll be responsible for doing things like restocking or cleaning. Now these are the two salad bars that you'll be responsible for manning. Up here, you may also be responsible for things like coffee, putting bowls back in place, or refilling ketchup. Now, over here, these metal gray things are called the bev units. That's where you get milk or tea cooler. Along here, this is what's called the main line. This is where students actually get all their food. You'll try to keep that as neat as possible. This is the bread bar, or the cereal bar. This is where you get things like cereals or bagels. This is called the hot toppings bar, which is where there will be various sauces and other things. You'll just need to keep that full. Now, over here, through this door, this is the dish room, which I'll be covering a little bit later. Through here is the blue shirt office, which is where you leave things like your backpack. And you can also pick up vacuums if you ever need them. This is the salad department. This is probably the most important place in the entire CAF. You can get anything there. Here you've got the storeroom, which is where you would get your cereals or any spices. Elevator in case you need to go downstairs. Thanks. And finally the back dock. So out here on the back dock, this is where you bring things like garbage and cardboard. Now, you'll put broken down boxes in these green containers. This is for cardboard only. Over here in this blue dumpster, this is where we drop off our trash. This is also where we bring out the full hoe buckets. This is full of compost, this goes to the college farm. And then down over here is where you put your recycling. In these bins here. When your supervisor tells you, you'll take your ID and you'll come over here to the time clock. All you need to do in order to clock in is swipe. Now you're getting paid. When you're told that you're done, you just come back here and clock back out. Now, it's very important that you arrive on time for your shift. You actually really want to arrive about 15 to 30 minutes before your shift starts. So, for example, if your breakfast shift starts at 7:30, you want to show up at like 7:15. This is because you need to eat before you start your shift. You can't eat on your shift. Okay? Now, when you get here, you'll want to drop your book bag, your laptop, anything else here in the office. Perfectly safe. I need to say this, you can't do homework or study on a shift. We've had some problems with that before. It's just easiest if you don't. You're here to work. Now, when you get here, you need to be in proper uniform. Notice that I'm wearing a red shirt and a red hat. You can buy these from Dining Services if you want. If you don't want to, then what you'll do is in this office, you'll get an apron and a paper hat. These are completely free. You just return the aprons when you're done and you throw out the hat. I really like these hats. I always wore them. Now, the CAF is organized between two stations, the floor and the dish room. You'll work in one of those, and you can request which jobs you want. You'll talk to your supervisor. The way it works in the CAF is student workers are the red shirts, like this. The supervisors, who are students also, are the blue shirts, because they wear a blue shirt, like this, so they're easy to distinguish. If you're asked to do bevs, you'll be responsible for the juices and the milks. So you'll need to check juice boxes like these, and you'll need to check the metal containers that hold all the milks, which are over here. Now, when you're on bevs, you're largely responsible for the main floor, which is up here, but you do still need to be concerned about the back bevs. You don't need to check them quite as often, but you should probably check them about once every half an hour or so. So, you'll need to double check these containers here every now and then to refill them. To open the juice box, you push this button over here. Check to see if they're empty. If one of them is empty, you want to grab it and just pull it out. So you want to come over here with your empty container, and you want to take this top off. There's a little syrup, so it'll get a little nasty. Now, the tops go in the trash, but the bodies go in the recycling. Now, to get a new one, you come in here. This is the dairy box. It's a little loud in here, so I'm going to have to speak up. But you come in here, and this is where you get all your different milks and your juices. So all the juices are in these boxes. You'll just want to check the labels, or you can pull one out. Now for the milks, you have what's called tea cooler, and then chocolate milk. But this is very important. These blue twisty ties are for the skim milks. The red ties are for the 2% milks. It's very important that you don't mix those up. So now that you've got your full juice, you want to take this cap off carefully and twist it so that the opening faces this way. Pop the box open, slide it inside, and then you want to let it run for a second or two so that the juice will flow. Now with the milks, you got to be a little careful because these are quite heavy. This is 5 gallons. It probably weighs something on the order of like 30 or 40 pounds. So you open it up, you notice one's empty. Pull this down, there are hooks, and you lift up on this lever. A little milk might spill out, that's fine. Different people like to do this different ways. I personally like to do it like this. You rip open the bag, and you kind of dump the milk out, like so. And then you just kind of slide it into its container. Now this is very important here. You'll notice that there's a mark between this white cap and this, say, pink, brown kind of cap. When you're sliding this in, you want to make sure that it goes in like this. Notice that the actual container is behind this pink part. If you don't do that, it's possible that this cap will pop off and burst. And then you've got 5 gallons of milk going everywhere. Bring it right side up. slide it in. Rip off this little plastic thing. Take this, push up on the lever, pull it through, put that back up, closed. Take your scissors, cut it off, and then you're done. You'll usually find scissors on top of one of the BEV units. Look around, or if that fails, ask your blue shirt. If you make a little spill, it's perfectly fine. Just take a rag and wipe it out. Try to keep this as clean as possible. So, if you're asked to do glass racks, then you're going to be responsible for these. There are two stations for glass racks that you really need to worry about. So there's these over here. And then over here at the other salad bar. There are also some in the back, but you don't need to worry about those quite as often, although you do still need to check them. Now what you'll want to do is you'll come over here, and you'll see that this glass rack here is mostly empty. See, there's only 4 in here. So all you have to do is take them out and slip them into an empty one. The whole point is to consolidate. Then you take this empty rack and bring it over to the dish room. Where you drop it off, ready. If you ever need a full rack, they're over here. Right in this hallway. You just take out this entire thing and stack them where it's easiest. So this is one of the salad bars. There are 2. If you're ever asked to take care of this, principally what you're going to do is make sure that all these dishes here are filled. If any of them ever run out, the first place you should check is over here. So, for example, if I needed more lettuce, I could just fill it up over here. Now, if it's not back there, you'll want to go over to the salad department. Which is right in here. You just ask the staff for whatever it is you need. So anything from lettuce to eggs, they'll have it for you. This is also one of the places you can get rags. You want to use the rags to make sure that the area in front of your salad bar is kept nice and clean. So just go out and check every now and then and wipe it down.